Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to this episode of the Sonic Link podcast. I'm here with Sam on another episode. Sam, thank you so much for hopping on here today, my man.
Yeah, Adam, it's great to be here. I'm glad to be a part of it.
I know you're currently kind of like I think in the consulting field, kind of currently in between jobs. You were previously,
Mhm.
like a security overall, IT director, and now you're switching. I remember we had a conversation. You said you want to switch to security completely. So that's a
Yeah.
whole other interesting thing that I would like to ask you down towards the end of the podcast. But kind of get us kick started with this, and let us know a little bit about yourself, kind of what got you here, and then we'll kind of get started.
All right. Well, I'm Sam Bennett. I live in Bozeman, Montana, one of the most beautiful places you can live. And so lived here for 25 years and kind of have been an IT director for 18 years. Um, and kind of been that. And so always the guy in charge having to put out every fire, you know. And after a while, that kind of gets old. I kind of want to specialize. And so that while yes, security is fires, but it's not, my mouse isn't working. And it's stuff like that. It's more, and I think there's more opportunity in cybersecurity. And so trying to make that transition, it's not as easy a transition as I thought, because kind of people think, oh, you're overqualified
Yeah,
for
yeah, no,
doing this.
so I'm curious for
Um,
people that are kind of getting started in this industry. Do you think security is like the place to dive into first? No,
Security or AI?
I see. So AI in a sense of what though? Like just learning machine learning or
Yeah,
like
just in general, just starting to learn AI and in the machine learning and how to implement and how, because I think a lot of businesses, I know that in my most recent capacity, we were really looking at how AI would could assist in accounting and stuff like that, and hard to get their minds around that. Of course, accountants don't like change, period. So kind of, but I was trying to say, okay, where's this going to fit in and stuff like that. And so, and then also, there's also the whole the meshing of the AI and security, because you can really screw up big time with AI, or you can screw up your security big time with AI as far as posting, um, user information and stuff like that that you think is, oh, it's private, it won't be, no, it's wide open, and stuff like that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, I think AI, I think cybersecurity and AI, because things are getting less and less secure, and the more interconnected we come, that's just going to continue to happen. And it's a leapfrog game of we fix one thing and then they find something else, and so kind of that's why I kind of want to specialize and get into that. I find it very interesting, and the I it's been always a part of my responsibilities in every role I've been in. Um, but I kind of want to go down that path. I recently acquired my CISSP, and so uh, wanted to go down that. We'll see
nice.
how it goes.
So what kind of key components do you feel like companies are, mainly lacking when it comes to this like race of cybersecurity? Like, if you were to list a
Well,
few.
I read a stat a few months ago, and I don't remember where it was at, but they said in 2023, 60 to 90% of all ransomware incidents were due to social engineering.
Mm, that's a
So
big freaking number. Yeah.
yeah, when you think about all the work we do to, secure our endpoints, secure our servers, secure our networks, and all this, and all it takes is somebody to click a stupid PDF that's ransomware, and it can take down. And I was a part of that exact scenario in a previous role of a ransomware attack at a university, and that's what happened. Had everything locked down, everything secure, and the wrong person clicked on the wrong PDF, and they happened to have a plain text password file
Oh,
and got into a lot. So the ransomware just spread through the network like crazy. Um, so I think that's where a lot of places they underestimate
mm,
their social engineering aspects of ransomware. And so in my last role, I implemented Know Before, the security awareness training and simulated phishing campaigns. And so we did a baseline test right off the bat and 38% of our employees would fall for the phishing.
Wow, 38%.
Yeah.
That's a
Um,
majority of people. So but these tools, I feel Nova 4 is good. I don't want to knock anyone's tools down.
yeah.
I'm curious. Do you feel like they lack certain things, or like maybe there's not enough depth to like security awareness training? Because I've seen them and I look at them and I go, man, this looks like what somebody in my kindergarten teacher would draw out. Like, you know?
You can get progressively deeper if you think your people will go for it. Just trying to get them to do the basic security awareness training is a lot. And you have to have total management buy-in. If your leadership's not bought into it, then it's not going to happen because you have to be able to make people do it. And you have to be able to when you get your monthly list saying these people haven't done their awareness training, you have to be able to call their boss and say, "Hey, this person's not done it. Can you get on them?" But if the boss hasn't done it either, then like that. Now, where I think the beauty of the know before is in the simulated phishing campaigns, because we were able to reduce that down to 4.8% of phishing risk in like 5 months.
Wow. Okay. From 30, you said 36 it was, or 33 was?
38%
38 to
to
4.6.
4.8. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And then the biggest shift that happened from there to then was what exactly?
Well, we did some basic security awareness training. They're the 10-minute video or whatever, and so like that. But we were sending like at least once a month. Everybody got a simulated phishing email.
Ah, so you
So
were
they started
testing.
learning, and if they failed it, they had to watch more training, do remedial training about it.
Oh, interesting.
And so
Okay.
they got to where they knew they got very much more diligent about checking the authenticity of the email, where what the from actually said, what the email address actually said, and stuff like that. And they could report phishing emails that they got, and I would go and check them out and review them and say, "Yep, this was a threat," or "No, this was clean. You need to follow up with this client," or whatever like that. So that's where I think something like Know Before is the conditioning of people to training them, because nobody likes to fail, right? And if they get this big flash up that says you failed when they clicked on something, they don't like that. And so that really conditioned them well, to watch for the phishing.
And you kept doing that every single month,
Yep,
nonstop.
nonstop.
I see. Interesting. Do you guys are you of one of those that believes in rating employees by their ability to pass these trainings? Like for example, like I was talking to a CISO who she was very adamant on HR being involved to like someone's cybersecurity score being low because that's a
Mm-hmm.
risk for the company long term.
Yes.
And so like let's have that conversation of do we want to keep this individual with us as a part of the team? Are you of that mentality? Do you think companies should implement, more, I guess, scrutinized type of procedures like this?
Well, if it violates company policy, then yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
no.
if you have an information security policy or an acceptable use policy or whatever, and if that person is violating that policy, you like if they were violating the sexual harassment policy, they would have somebody would talk with them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I'm not sure that unless I mean, if they're just blatantly violating the policy, not out of like they're doing it on purpose, that's a whole different discussion than negligence, right? Oh, I accidentally fished on this is clicked on this phishing link, da da da. That probably, if it happens multiple times in the next review, that probably should be part of the discussion. But if they're blatantly violating information security policies, then there's probably a lot of other problems going on there too.
So do you feel like companies don't do enough training? Is that what it is? Because like I feel like I hear like most of them say they do it, but
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Well, I don't think. people, I don't think companies keep the information security at top of mind enough.
Oh,
Does that
okay.
make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
It's kind of
it's
like this thing that
not
runs in the background, but it's just not that important.
right. Well, and I mean, and there's this, they think, okay, IT should take care of information security. And so as long as I'm just doing my job, I don't have to worry about it. But especially in like the phishing and stuff like that, that's, everybody's responsibility. And that's one of the things in security awareness training is information security is everybody's responsibility. And getting that out there that you're responsible for information security as any general employee.
I it's interesting because like as you said, you spend all this money and time like, working on securing devices, securing the network, securing all the technical components, which logically makes sense, but then like you realize that the most vulnerable component is the human being, right?
Right.
Um, do you are is do you guys like I know like for your previous organizations was like cybersecurity awareness training implemented as part of onboarding for new
Um,
employees?
no, well, yeah, they would. Yes, when someone we created a new user, it automatically sent them an initial security awareness training um,
So it was like
link.
required for them to like
Yeah,
be a part of it. How do you feel like companies should like at least add this into their culture without getting any friction? Like people might be like, what are these new security measures that we have to follow? Or just making sure user convenience is still a part of company culture.
I think. Well, that's where I think the leadership buy-in. If your leadership's not bought into it, then you're going to have a hard time. But making it to where um, it's not like taking a lot of time from them. Um, if it's just, it's taken 30 seconds to evaluate an email, whether it's phishing or not, once a month, unless they fail, and then they have a 5-minute video to watch. Um, and not making it a big deal, but if you're asking your people to give up a day for someone to come in and do this security awareness training in person, and everybody's losing their productivity for a day. And like I was working in an accounting firm, so those are billable dollars that are not being billed.
Yeah.
And so it has to be, I think, instead of big sweeping once a year, I think it should be incremental, a little bit every month or two. 10 minutes every
Yeah.
month or two, and it keeps it top of mind. It may not be as in depth, but it does keep it there. And you can also do things like automated, though before let you do automated newsletters and stuff like that. So you could set it to where it just sends this kind of security bulletin out. Whether or not they read it or not is up to them. You can't really enforce that, but at least it puts it in the top of their mind. And that's what I think what the biggest challenge is they need to be thinking security
So
with
your
everything
training,
they get.
your security awareness training was short, like you kept it short on purpose, or
Well, that's part of Novovor's kind of, that's their model,
yeah.
is
So for those that
very
aren't aware of
inobtrusive.
Nova 4's model, can you kind of like educate us on how it works?
Well, I mean, it just, like I said, we did an initial simulated phishing baseline test to see where everybody was at. And, and we're using, we brought it in from Microsoft Entra ID, imported everybody, and it linked with that. And so it's synced, it's single sign on, and, simple stuff. And so did a baseline test, and then we did a general security awareness training, just an overview of it was 10, maybe 15 minutes. And so they go through that. You get a notice of who completed it, who didn't. Yeah, and it's all on their own time at their own convenience. And and they get marked, if they did or not, and they keep getting reminder emails constantly until they do it. And so then he started the simulated phishing campaigns of just once a month, or you can do them however you want. You can do them once a week if you wanted to, or maybe every 2 months or 3 months. But and if they fail, and then you can send out follow-up training, more advanced training, once a quarter or whatever you want to do, however you want to schedule that, for them to get better and better. And so that's what I like about it. It's not this big, it's not a huge time suck. It's just a few minutes. And I
Yeah,
think that's a lot. That's bite-sized chunks. And also, it's so that you sit. If somebody sits in a classroom for a day and listening to something they're not really that interested in,
yeah.
then they're not going to digest it.
They're not
But
gonna be
if
engaged. Yeah.
right, and so, but it's something that they get once every month or two, that's 5 minutes that their boss says you need to watch, you need to participate in this. They can take that and digest it. They haven't lost their stuff, lost their attention or anything like that, and they can do that, and it keeps it top of mind. So they're always thinking about it. And they'll when they recognize a phishing email come in, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we saw that in the video," you know.
Mm, mm.
So
From what about like from like an end user standpoint? So a lot of these conversations are very company focused, like, oh, how do we keep company security going? Blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. What about the actual end user themselves? Like, do you feel like a person from like just your regular, consumer living at home, should they also be more concerned about their cybersecurity, or is that
oh
something that it's like only for the companies to worry about?
no, it's at home. I wish there was. Yeah, I think everybody's responsible for their information security. I mean, whether you're just at home or working for a corporation, it's just we can't just enforce people at home
Yeah,
to do it. But
totally.
yeah, and maybe yeah, but I don't think people are going to pay to learn about information security. They're not going to research it that much. I like okay, my in-laws live with me,
Uh-huh.
and because they're elderly and we got to take care of them, stuff like that, just to keep them from answering the phone when it's an unknown number, because we catch them almost getting scammed constantly.
Oh man.
Just constantly, because they're of that generation. It's like if the phone rings, you have to answer it no matter what. And we're
Yeah.
like, no, you don't. If you don't know them, who cares? You know. But yeah, I think training people, and we finally got them to where they don't feel like they have to all the time. But yeah, everybody should go through some security awareness training, because scammers want to get everybody. Now, ransomwares are only really attacking corporations and stuff, but Medicare scams and auto warranty scams and all of that stuff is everybody.
That's that, it's funny because like I asked that question because it's like, how does somebody protect themselves? Like let's say I am just a, regular consumer. What do I even do? Where do I start?
Right. I would start Googling, you know, I don't know, keep my stuff secure my computer or something
Use,
like that.
use a password manager, guys. That's step one. That's what I would tell you. I
Yeah,
love
that's
I use a password manager person. I mean, obviously I'm in cybersecurity, but like I use it for my
right.
personal stuff and it's
Oh,
it's
me too.
yeah, it's easy, it's cool. I put all my confidential stuff. I'm not gonna say what I put there, but I just put stuff in there, and it's
Right.
nice. There's
Yep.
like there's other stuff you can put in there for not just your password. So I think just having tools like that, and they're very light. You put them on your
Yep.
phone, take them with you everywhere. It's convenient.
It is. They
And
work really good
I
if you
actually think
choose the
it's more
right one.
convenient because I don't have to worry about remembering my passwords anymore.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or
let
you
them.
can also use like well, I recommend people use a password generator too if they don't have one built in to their password manager. But there's also like Password Ninja, I think it is, that you put in the parameters you want and it'll generate a password that's more user friendly than random.
Uh huh.
Um, and so that's what I would like when I was onboarding users. I would use that to create the password, because it'd be like Violet Monkey, you know, 938
Yeah, no,
asterisk.
my passwords are insane now because I use the password manager, so it generates the password. So it's like,
Right. Just
good luck,
random. Yeah.
hacker. Like, good luck, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I gotta
Right.
say. Good luck, bro. And then I have a protocol in place every I think 60 to 90 days. It just tells me to just click a button and it just resets all my passwords. So it's
Yeah.
easy.
Yep. They're awesome. And I
Yeah.
also can tell you if if your password's been compromised for that site.
Yeah. It's so funny how that works. But because like I've had my friends get their phone stuff hacked. Like I had a friend of mine who woke up one day and had like a $20,000 charge on his Amex out of nowhere. I had another friend of mine who I think like 10 grand out of his bank just disappeared through Zelle over
Yeah.
one night, right? So it stuff hits like your regular people.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I I've had that. I've had it happen to me. It seems like about every 6 months, one of my credit cards gets hacked, and it's like sometimes they're ones that I don't use. I just have, and it's like I this is not saved in anything, and somehow they got it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And you know, but yeah, it's wild. People are out there trying to get your stuff, man.
Crazy world we live in. Sam, where can people find you, brother, if they want to look you up?
I'm on LinkedIn. My tag is W Samuel Bennett.
Nice, nice, Sam. I appreciate you so much for hopping on for real. It's been a real honor. I think it's cool that this got like super security focused on like the end user because it's funny enough, we're actually working on a project internally that's very like we're updating our security training. So
Yeah,
this conversation just happened to be prevalent this morning for me. So
awesome.
yeah, appreciate you a lot for hopping on, my man. And for everybody that's watching, if you guys enjoyed, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. All right.
All right,
Peace.
thanks, man.